It's like an ice cube that like glows different colors, because that's realistic, because this is what ice looks like. Actually, the ice probably should look a little like this, because this is actually kind of cool. But like, look, it's glowing. It's not registering well because there's too much light in here. But that's pretty cool, right? Hey guys, it's Maiku, and welcome to Let Me Finish, the show where what is the show? Oh yeah, the show where I always get the last word. That's the show. Okay. I made a video earlier and I wanted to make another video because I was thinking about another topic. I have a friend who recently posted on Facebook that he was interested in seeking out a medium. My only assumption is that he's experiencing some loss in his life, and someone has moved on and he wants to reach out to that person because he's feeling a little bit, or feels like he has no direction and he needs some closure. Yeah, he needs some sort of closure. And I wanted to talk about a few things that's happened to me that kind of has given me my perspective and my response to him, because I know that it may seem like I'm not sympathetic, but I am. Absolutely. Well, a few years back, I had a friend who, moved on to the other plane, and it wasn't the best circumstances, and it's pretty hard. It was pretty hard. I've kind of resolved most of those feelings, and I think that I've accepted it for the most part, but every now and then, of course, that person, comes back and I think about them. We grew up together and all of that, so it was kind of a big loss. Regardless of the circumstances, I understand that experience. But I don't think that going to a medium is going to solve that. And here's the reason why. There is no way of knowing if a medium can do what the medium says they're doing. So even if you believe that there are people in the world who can reach into a different realm or a different plane where spirits exist, if you believe that, and they can talk to those people and they can help you get some closure or communicate with you, then how will you know if that medium has that skill? There's no way to know. And so, as I explained, it's just mentalism. The person is feeding off of your visual involuntary cues that you're giving as they ask questions. It's very easy. It's similar to astrology, a general statement that kind of applies to everyone if you interpret it in the way because you want it to sound like something. It's just like the fact that your brain likes to make sense of pictures, so therefore it finds faces in random items, and you're like, oh my god, that looks like a face. Yeah, it looks like a face because your brain likes to try to find things that it recognizes, and faces are something that it recognizes and it can actually attach some sort of emotion to and kind of explain. It doesn't mean that actually looks like a face. You just see something that looks similar to a face. It's a pattern. Your brain is recognizing patterns, and a mentalist does the same thing. They recognize patterns. They recognize that your eye twitches every time a certain word is mentioned. If you may also blink 3 times if, you're in trouble. No, but you know what I'm saying. So I think that I don't necessarily think that a medium can do anything but provide a false sense of hope or a false peace of mind. If that's what you need, if you're willing to go through your life knowing that what you were told by a medium is something that you will believe to the end of your days, just to get you through the rest of your life, then I guess that's okay. It's not hurting anybody. But the problem is when the scam comes in, when they try to get money out of you, and they consistently try to get money out of you, or you live off of that and you feed off of that, so you keep constantly using them to contact this person as you give away more details, involuntarily giving away more details, because of course they're also taking you in a heightened emotional sense, which means that you're more vulnerable. You're sitting in front of someone who's telling you that they're going to let you talk to your dead XYZ, who's moved on to the other plane, but has something they want to tell you because they're not having enough time. And I guess if you believe that heaven is heaven and people are having a great time there, why do they need to sit around and visit you? If someone's having a great time in heaven, I don't know, I'm not checking out anybody else if I'm having a good time. Like when I'm out at a great party, I'm not like calling other people and checking on them saying, oh, I wonder how you are doing. Like I'm having a great party. Like I'm experiencing this moment. I guess some people do call people. Like if I remember something about someone, I may want to go visit them, but then I'll just go visit them or I'll call them and mention that. But I'm not going to like sit around and be wringing your hands. Like if you have something to do, you have something to do. But I feel like, it just makes no sense to me. Like it doesn't logically make sense. Do I believe? I don't know if I believe if there's spirits or whatever. Do I believe in ghosts? I feel like there are ghosts. But I don't necessarily know what I would define as a ghost. Do I define it as like a disembodied spirit, or do I define ghosts as like, a kind of like a person who was dead and now is here to like have some unfinished business, because I got tons of unfinished business and I'm not walking around bothering people or randos. Like, I'm not circling around neighborhoods and stuff and just scaring people and blowing leaves about or knocking over plants and vases and stuff because I'm upset because you're not paying attention to me. Like, that's some toddler BS. Like, I thought ghosts were like full-fledged adults, so why would they be doing some toddler stuff? I just don't see, like, I don't get it. But ghosts, right? There could be ghosts, I guess. But what I'm saying is that, to get back on topic, I'm not gonna say that I don't necessarily think it's gonna give my friend any peace of mind. I think what he should be doing is going to some counseling. And counseling is virtually free now, especially in California. So I would definitely say go get some counseling and talk to someone about it and kind of resolve those feelings and get some closure internally. I think that's where the closure lies, is with you accepting the reality that this person is gone, but it doesn't mean that they're forgotten. I remember my friend and the other people who have passed away in my life in the moments that remind me of them. I think that's beautiful. That's where the beauty of loss is that you can remember someone and they live on as long as you remember them. So when I do remember them, it's not necessarily sad, you know, it's kind of a somber moment or it's a quiet moment, but it is something that I actually kind of cherish, because it's like, oh yeah, I remember that, and we had these memories, and these things happened, and I was so grateful, and I'm so lucky to have experienced that with that person in the time that we've had together. Things happen uncontrollably and unfortunately, and we can either take them as they are and accept them and see the positive in it, or we could dwell on them and create intense negativity and cyclical negativity in our lives. And I don't think that death should be one of those things that is a cyclical negative. You know, do I feel sad? Absolutely. Do I miss the person? Absolutely. You know, sometimes on a daily basis. But what I know that I can do is I can be a better person. I can try to be the person how they saw me as. I think that's something that I strive to do, or at least want to strive to do more, is to try to be the person that, you know, these people have seen me as, and just recognize that I was fortunate enough to have these people in my lives and they loved me and cared for me for as I was and as I am, and that I can continue to be that person and honor their memory as being the person that they remember me as. Even if I've grown and changed in ways, there are still parts of my personality that are definitely still those same people, and that part that cared and loved them, it's something that I guess I should manifest more. I don't know. It's a very pretty deep video, I guess, but I just wanted to talk about that because I think that, especially around now, this is when people really start to miss people and people get depressed. It's lonely out there. If we can all just remember that, you know, yeah, we miss people around these times of year, and as well we should, you know. There's an emphasis on being together and being with your family, chosen or otherwise. Chosen, not chosen, or otherwise. You should be with your family, and however you define that is up to you. But those people that you miss, especially around this time, just something that we all have to realize, that people were going through those situations, and it's a time to remember them and to celebrate them and celebrate their life. And when I remember them as they were and the good things about them, I think that that's something that we should try to focus on, as opposed to trying to make sure that we can find closure in ways that are not necessarily beneficial and financially are a little bit of a burden, or may put us in a position where we can be taken advantage of because of our vulnerability. Unfortunately, people out there can be terrible and can definitely use other people, and I think that we should be mindful of that. You know, they're worried about their own interests sometimes, and that's something that I think that we should prevent. And I'm not saying that there's not a place for mediums. I won't say that there's like a ton of validity in it, but I will say that if there are people who can speak to spirits, or some people who are just super intuitive and they can kind of figure things out because they notice patterns better than other people, that is a skill, and that's something that can be beneficial to people, you know. But I don't think it's necessarily something that we can always explain. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Click that bell icon down below, and also write some comments on what you think about mediums and psychics and those type of people, and we can do another video about that as well, because I enjoy talking about things that I don't necessarily understand or cannot be explained, and so I would love to kind of start a dialogue about that and see how we can share opinions about things that maybe people think they're worried how people may treat them because they believe something kind of crazy. Anyway, thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you next time. I just can't help. Doesn't mean that everyone's good. let's be honest, people die and they're not always the greatest. Kind of weird how like an ambulance like is going by right now when I'm talking about people like getting hurt and dying and stuff. I think that's kind of macabre, but like, I mean, I do live like a few blocks from a hospital, so like that's also a thing too. I mean, I should have expected that to come, right? Another one. I mean, there's rarely just one.